Welcome back to Drafting Out Loud, here for some more slow draft someday. We're on DraftKings to start. We are in the seventh round. I believe we have the number two pick on this one. We do. This is an interesting team we got going on here. We start out with Bijan Robinson in the second. We pull up Neighbors to in the second pick. We pull up Neighbors to the second round, knowing that oftentimes, if we try to push him to the third, he got taken. And we're like, you know what? We'll probably get Rice or Collins with the next pick, most likely. And if we don't, whatever, it isn't the end of the world. So we took Neighbors, and both Rice and Collins were available. We just took Rice. He has the better ADP out of those. We got a falling burden. This was before the groin injury. And then Scatabo fell to us to pick the second pick of the fifth round. Then Caleb Williams fell to us in the sixth round to stack with Burden. And now here we are in the seventh round. And really, I think the pick that makes the most sense is Ramondre Stevenson. It is getting kind of crazy here. As we were just talking, I saw this. Brooks is now up to pick 80.7 on DraftKings. Let's go look at our leverage lab and look at our DraftKings market movers. I haven't looked at this yet today to see what we got going on. Stefon Diggs is in the hundreds. We said it was going to happen, and it happened. I've been drafting Diggs around this point, mainly on underdog, but it happened. Marshawn Lloyd moving up like mad. Dontavian Wicks moving up. Pat Bryant moving up, unfortunately. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt moving up. There's Brooks. Up a pick in the last 2 days. Up basically 5 picks in the last week. Up 20 picks in the last month. So he's averaged like, zero point 0.8 picks a day or something like that. Just shy of a pick a day over the past month. Pretty crazy. This is an interesting one right here. Jordan Tyson moving up. I'm a fan of Jordan Tyson relative to Chris Olave. Chris Olave, if I'm not mistaken, was the deep threat until last year when he started getting more close targets. And now they have Tyson. And Tyson's known to be, that guy that can get those quick slants and those other short targets and things like that. You got to think Olave is going to start getting more deep targets. And what we've learned is that the deep targets aren't as valuable as we thought, even for best ball. The short targets are maybe more valuable if you get a lot of them, especially on a PPR site like DraftKings. So more on Tyson. I think Tyson versus Tate's an interesting one. A lot of the sharp people are taking Tate over Tyson. I started with Tyson over Tate. Then I kind of changed. I was taking more Tate than Tyson. Now I'm kind of 50-50. Kind of 50-50 on that. But Brooks is rising up still, all the way to the pick 80. Excuse me, which is crazy that he's risen up that high. We got a ton of Brooks. We'll as we've looked at before, we can go to our leverage lab. Let's go, and this is what we were looking at yesterday, I think, Jonathan Taylor with some players probably. Or maybe I was doing that by myself later on, I'm not sure. But we got Brooks. We are at 28.7% Brooks with our average pick of 108. We've been taking him as he got steamed up into what round is that? And he got steamed up to round 8 on underdog. But now he's squarely in round 7. I did take him at the end of round 7 in one draft, which made sense. But the good news for me, I guess, and what I've done is I don't have to feel any pressure to take him here at all because I have plenty of Brooks over here. Now I know that they're in time box contests. It's a little bit different, but still, I don't feel like I got to pack bags of Brooks here. I've packed way too many bags at this point here from like 97 to whatever. And then he totally flew up the boards, almost bypassed this section, went straight over here to this right-hand side of the boards. And now on DraftKings, he's all the way to 80, which is crazy. I'll sprinkle him in, right, if it makes sense. But I mean, is how much more juice is there left to squeeze overall? In fact, there was one draft on DraftKings where I got Rico Dowdle in the night, not Rico Dowdle, sorry. Where is he? We got Hubbard in the 90s. You can see on Underdog, he's already in the 90s. Or on DraftKings, he's already in the 90s. I got him in the 90s on Underdog. I'm like, you know what? I don't know if he'll make it there on Underdog to the 90s. I might as well take him there now. And seeing that he's in the 90s on DraftKings, maybe I'm wrong and he'll easily make it into the 90s. He's 87. I got him in the late 90s, so I don't know if he'll make it to the late 90s. But if DraftKings is any indication, he will, which crazy, crazy, crazy. I think you got to sprinkle him in then in the late 90s and the hundreds if he falls on either site, right? And that way you're playing both sides of it a little bit and hopefully just making better teams with Hubbard overall. I do have a little bit of Hubbard on Underdog, but like not much at all. I think I played this one pretty good. Let's see, where am I at on Hubbard? 3.8%, three teams. And you can see here I have an average of 73, and he was going earlier than 73 before. Let's see here. Yeah, just three teams. One of them is stacked with Jonathan Brooks. So they flip-flopped. So really it's like two standalone Hubbard teams. And I got a third one, like I said, that I drafted in the late 90s right now. We will see what happens. Hopefully I'm right. And Jonathan Brooks is the guy. Okay, back to this DraftKings team here. We do have again a 1-2-3-0, and I think these are the two most interesting picks on the board for me for this team here. Oftentimes we're looking at like Jalen Hurts, but I do have a big Giants thing going on here as well as a KC thing potentially with Rashee Rice. So we're going to pass on a quarterback. We got a slight, not really a fault, just at cost. Stevenson, which it's looking more and more like he's going to be the starter. And who knows if what's his face, Trevion Henderson is going to be able to take the job from him. It's starting to look like that might not be the case. Sam Laporte is an interesting pick here too, because it would be a bring back on the Chicago thing. I don't have any tight ends. I think Sam Laporte is an interesting pick. Also, that being said, as we just saw, running backs are getting screaming up the board here. Pick 78 now or 80 for Jonathan Brooks. 95 and 98. I'm probably not going to want to go running back there. Let's see. Unless I do want to take one of these guys, which isn't actually Kyle Manunga. I do like Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt too. If I take a running back, I still can take another running back. Totally. And I can take like on the next way around, I can definitely get my QB and my running back another running back if I want to. And then you stop at 4, get a fifth one on late if you can find it. Although the couple that were late are no longer going that late. I think it just makes sense to take Ramondre here and then figure out the next pick after that. We got other tight ends we can stack over here if we need to. And we'll get the not really ADP value, but we'll just get it at cost for Ramondre. Let's just do it and let's live for the next pick. This also makes sense because Scatabo might start off a little slow. Ramondre hopefully starts off fast, and then at some point in time, maybe Trevion carves out a little bit more of the role, and then Scatabo takes on more of the role, right? So they kind of flip-flop. So it does make sense to have these two guys on the team here. Ramondre Stevenson, welcome to the team. There we go. Okay. Let's convert over to Underdog here. First draft here, we're in the 12th round in this one. Okay, this is the one. I don't know if we looked at this one yesterday. Maybe we did. Actually, I'm not sure if we did, but got Isaiah Likely here. I have very little Isaiah Likely. I got him at 130, so slightly past ADP. I don't have any, for my first tight end. And there really aren't any fun tight ends to stack here. Hunter Henry's the most fun one. And then Hawkinson. And then really, do you want to get Sadiq on your teams right now? I don't think so. So there's not much fun stuff to really stack here. And then you got Evan Ingram. A bunch of boring players to stack with over here on this one. Seeing Manungai fall a good amount too. In fact, where is he? I think one of the questions now is almost I'm trying to find the other guy. Oh, right here. The question I think is it Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt or Kyle Manungai? That's the question. And I'm starting to think Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt might be the guy out of those two in like every single draft. Manungai's not really catching any passes at all. He's the clear number two. And I think Swift is shown he's capable and consistent and can, do everything he needs to do. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is getting buzz like he's going to lock in as that number one. And the only way he does that is if he starts to catch passes. And if he starts to catch passes, that unlocks a whole nother part to his game as well. Keeps on the field longer, gets some more, points from the PPR point or the half PPR points on underdog on an equally explosive offense potentially. Maybe not equally, or a relatively explosive offense as well. Losing an offensive lineman, but this guy, I think, might be doing the right thing here. And this is kind of what I'm thinking too, is like, where does he go? Um, does he go ahead of Gainwell, Harvey, Corum, Dobbins, Hubbard, Brooks? I mean, he doesn't have the draft pedigree of some of these players, but not that all of them have great draft pedigree themselves, but he might have a defined number one role, while these other ones more of contingent and very competitive, like 50-50 roles and things like that potentially. So I think we might have to start just pulling him up like this. Not to here, but like when he falls in here. This guy got Diggs at 103. Oh, it's kind of probably good that he got Diggs, because if we didn't get Knicks here, we would have maybe lost him to the Sutton drafter here, who only has one QB himself and Allen. So we missed out on Diggs on this one. That's okay. We already have 5 wide receivers as well, so we didn't really want Diggs on this one and he's a week 7. We already have 2 week 7 guys. Okay. What are we doing with this pick here? We got Rashid Shaheed queued up. He's just the best available based on ADP. He is a bring back on Jonathan Brooks. He is a potential player to way outproduce what he's got going on here. There's no running backs really available at this point, so we don't need to worry about that. I don't think we need to pull up. Well, Sam Darnold wouldn't even be a stack on anything, and I don't think we need to get another quarterback just yet. We can see if another quarterback falls, or I'm fine running 2 quarterbacks as well here, totally. And this would be the only thing I'm thinking here. Well, so we got tight ends that we can get for all of these guys. So we don't need another tight end. There are receivers for these guys as well. This is a more interesting one than I was thinking about originally. Now, I do have a lot of wide receiver capital going on here. I got wide receivers in the first, third, and I'm putting this on my other screen here too. First, third, fourth, fifth, then a running back in the sixth. I'm probably weaker running back as you look at it, because I went so wide receiver heavy, running wide receiver in the 7th. wide receiver in the 7th, running back in the 8th, QB in the 9th, QB in the 10th, tight end in the 11th. We have pick number 10 is what we have here. So we are looking really good we're looking okay at running back. Again, there are no running backs who would we pull up running back? Is it really Tyler Algier? Wow. Here's the dead zone at running back right here. Okay, so we're definitely not going running back. So really it's between, no, this wasn't the one where really it's Shaheed, it's one of these guys right here is really what it is. If we go wide receiver, we can still get one more wide receiver later on. We don't have to do a Minnesota guy like Juwan Jennings because we already got Justin Jefferson. I think we're just going to go with Rashid Shaheed. I think he's like, if we look at the wide receivers that are available after that, I don't know if any of them are truly as explosive potentially as Rashid Shaheed is if he starts getting more targets underneath instead of just deep targets, kind of the same type of theory as um, whoever we were talking about before. I feel like we're talking about another player. We're going to go Rashid Shaheed right here on this one. What do we got next here? Next up, we got Zachariah Branch queued up. We only got one tight end on this one. We could use one more wide receiver, but I was AJ Barner is still available. And look who our QBs are. Mahomes, Nix, Shuck. Well, Branch would be nice. It'd be a bring back on Tyler Shuck. We could also just say, like, these are guys are going to go here. But what if, like, Cyrus Allen, he's a stack with Patrick Mahomes. Jacoby Lane's getting a lot of buzz. He's rising up the boards. He doesn't stack with any, or bring back with anything, but that'd be nice. Pat Bryant's a stack with Bo Nix. Kayshon Boutte is a bring back with Bo Nix right now. Keenan Allen should get, rise up when he gets signed. He could go to the Saints. That's like one of the places that I've read that he could potentially go. And then we even got like Tyquan Thornton here if we want to go with him. We do need tight ends. We only got one in Juwan Johnson. It's just going to be an ugly team at tight end, but it's going to be a pretty darn solid team the rest of the way. A very solid team the rest of the way. I think we just go AJ Barner because Zachariah Branch still getting steam. I don't know if he's getting more steam. I have very little Zachariah Branch, I'll tell you that much. Allen's getting steam, right? 86. He's going to be close to the getting around the turn on underdog as well, if not there already. Pat Bryant's getting steam. So there's a lot of players getting steam, and I think we can maybe just get the tight end now. Let's just say that the market knows that he's a better tight end than these tight ends here. And then we don't know who our third tight end will be, but it's going to be really rough. Whoever it is most likely, it won't be Isaiah Likely like in the last draft. So we're going to go Barner. We're going to figure out tight end and wide receiver after that. Maybe it's hopefully one of those two. Oh, Evan Ingram could go on this one, right? Might be the tight end. Charlie Kolar would be a bring back on KC. Michael Mayer, if I want like some extreme upside, which I drafted, especially if I have the Las Vegas thing. Some people really like Darnell Washington. Eric All's getting some buzz, I think. So, but I think we go, this is the 16th round. We only got 2 picks left after this one. I think we just go AJ Barner and then figure out our next wide receiver and tight end after that. AJ Barner, welcome to the team. Okay. This one here, I have a 2-4-4-2 here in the 13th round. A little weaker at running back than other teams. This is almost like what a zero running back looks like in these days and days here. First running back in round 4. Did anyone else? This guy waited until round 5 with Trevion Henderson, Tony Pollard, Chris Rudd. So this guy's like almost too weak, you got to think, right? Like maybe he's got one starter in Pollard. Henderson isn't expected to be the starter right now. Did anyone else wait later than me? Nope. And I think I'm probably better off than this guy, right? I've Scatabo. I took Stevenson, who's expected to be the starter, than Henderson. It's funny that you like. I think if you have a strong team, this is a fun pick. If you don't have a strong running back room, this is kind of like a scary pick. I have Stevenson, the projected starter. I have Brooks, the guy will hopefully become the starter. We talked about this actually um, on. I feel like I'm making things up here a little bit. What was this? Oh, this was Scatterbo and Stevenson was this one, but it's a similar thing here too, right? In that we got Stevenson and Brooks. So Stevenson starts off strong. Hopefully Brooks picks up the slack if Stevenson starts to lose a little bit. Stevenson's also a good pick here because we have Scat too. We do have Scat and Tracy. I don't think I've done this before. I have very little in Tracy, but I think it works well in this team, especially when you get them. I want to say this is probably after ADP for it. But that being said, we are light at running back here. And we're super strong at wide receiver. Our first 3 picks were wide receivers. And then we got Stefon Diggs here at 115, which is much cheaper than what he's going for now. So I think that we could even argue, and Tank Bigsby is rising up the boards. Omar Cooper's probably slightly falling after the news that he is going to be the number 3 wide receiver. It was expected, I think. But, sometimes that kind of stuff slaps you in the face and you start to fall. I could definitely see this, like, where we could use 2 more, like, what, like this. Where is it? Like, Tank Bigsby, Marshawn Lloyd, then Terrence Ferguson, and then wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver to close out the thing, whoever. Lamar. So could we get a Jacoby Lane and a Pat Bryant, Kayshon Boutte? I don't know, whatever. Something like that. I think that would be a good team right there if we could do something like that. We're going to go Tank Bigsby, pull him up slightly ahead of ADP because we already have such a super strong wide receiver room. I don't think we need to build on this strength. I think we want to like get some extreme upside here at running back. And Tank Bigsby is extreme upside because we might only have like one guy, maybe two, but I think we have a solid room. This gives us like that guy that if he gets the number 1 spot could superpower a team. We're gonna go Tank Bigsby here. A little bit ahead of ADP. See what happens. Okay. Speaking of Stefon Diggs, we've been pulling him up here oftentimes into the 90s. I think we only got 2 wide receivers here on this team, and we got 3 running backs. There's Cam again, there's Ramondre again, getting a lot of Ramondre apparently. I guess I pulled him up to 68 on this team. This me? Let's see. Okay, I pulled up to 68. Let's see what I did here. And then I took Tucker Kraft. Interesting. I guess I had the QB already, Lamar Jackson. I didn't want to take another QB. Who do we got? We got Stefon Diggs queued up here. Devontae Adams is on this side of the board. So I think we're going to do something here and try to get Matthew Stafford at 116 QBs. They can get pushed now a little bit. So I think we're going to try to do that. Get Stefon Diggs here because he probably won't make it back to us. He is rising up the boards. 102 is his ADP now. It's going to be less than 102 tomorrow, which means getting him at 101 is going to be near impossible. We're just gonna pull them up here. I got a ton of digs. We're getting more. And we're gonna figure out our next pick. Stefon Diggs, welcome to the team. Jared Goff at 113. He goes 110 as his ADP. It would be my second QB. It's stacked up with Amon-Ra. I already have 4 running backs. I'll probably stop at 4 running backs on this team, possibly. I just need receivers and tight ends. After this, George Kittle would be fun if he fell back to us on our next pick, which is possible. But I think Jared Goff is the obvious pick here to get the stack. Boom. There we go. Got one more queued up here. Look at that. Oh, Marshawn Lawrence, Terrence Ferguson queued up here. Looks like what we're saying here is we want to go Hunter Henry. Do we have any tight ends on this team? 0 tight ends on this team, so we just need tight end points. Hunter Henry's good for tight end points. Bryce Young, we don't have a lot of them, but he'd be a double stack, probably Brooks and Coker. And then do we get Marshawn Lloyd to be our 5th running back on this team? Then Terrence Ferguson after that. Let's see what that would look like. Henry, what's his face? Then Lloyd. Then that's gonna be tough to get Lloyd at 179. If it happens, it'd be nice though. We're not pulling him up to 158 though, I don't think. Although I could see it happening. I could see it happening. Okay, we need tight end points though, is what we do need, and they start to look very ugly at this point in time. There's also TJ Hawkinson here too. So I think it's like Marshawn Lloyd or TJ Hawkinson with the next pick after that. So Hunter, Bryce Young, we don't draft a lot of them, but I think he makes sense on a team like this potentially with the double and then figure out the rest from there. Hunter Henry, welcome to the team. Okay, that's what we got for the day. And I got to get out of here. See you on the next one. Peace.